Hey, Jacob,
Hello.
how are you doing today?
Good, and you?
Good, good. So I know you already had the first session. We've already kind of gone over everything. Confidentiality, though, can you kind of remember what that was?
You said something about like everything staying within the room, and that like anything said's pretty private. And
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so it's essentially private unless, you say something about you're going to hurt yourself, someone else, or anything that's kind of on the legal side. Then I would have to report it. Other than that, though, yeah, everything stays in here.
Okay.
Okay, so last session you kind of talked about some things. How's everything going?
Actually things are pretty good.
Okay.
Like overall
Right.
with school. That was my big issue last time, but now everything's sort of settling down, which feels pretty good. But there are still definitely a few things.
Okay, and those few things would be what?
Well, during that stressful time with school, I picked up smoking again, like
Okay.
cigarettes.
Cigarettes, okay.
Yeah, and just overall tobacco use.
Okay.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
So you would like to quit tobacco in all is what I'm hearing?
I want to try.
So everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So why is it a problem right now?
Well, it serves no use to me anymore.
Okay.
Like I would do it to feel something like the stimulation when I was stressed out, because
Right.
it's better than stress, I guess.
Okay.
But now I don't need it, but I'm still doing it.
So now you're not feeling the stress as much, I'm hearing, but you're still kind of hooked on it.
Yeah, and like I'm still buying and stuff, so it's just a waste.
Right.
But I'm having trouble dealing with that.
So really simply, you've probably done this before elsewhere, but on a scale of 1 to 10, with like 10 being is like you are dependent on it, you need to have some of it in your body every day, and 1 being, you don't need it at all. You've solved the problem, right? Where do you think you're sitting?
I definitely don't need it every day.
Okay.
But I usually do it once a day.
Okay.
So I probably rate myself like a 5 or a 6.
5 or 6. Okay. So five or 6. Do you think it's like a healthy 5 or 6? Do you want to be at a 0? Do you maybe want to be at a 2 or a 3?
I want to be at a 2, which to me is kind of different, I think.
Okay.
Like if somebody offered me a cigarette or like a cigarillo or a cigar, I'd probably smoke it, or at least mouth it, and not like actually
socially?
smoke it. Yeah, like I'll smoke socially, but I don't want to do it at my own time. I
Okay.
don't want that to be something that I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I know you said you want to be at a 2.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that in the past you have smoked before? And you quit before? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Okay.
What I have done in the past, like when I was working, I used to work in a quarry,
Okay.
and I think I mentioned that. I picked up smoking there, like peer pressure, something happened. I just started smoking, and never, like I stopped. I think I had 1 pack then, and then I didn't have one for like a year and a half.
Oh, so it was a very brief time.
Yeah, and then I picked up a pack last year once, and then after that didn't buy any more, and then this summer with work and school, and then when school picked up, it was just like more and more. Like I bought 2 packs over that span of time, so it's definitely increasing, and that kind of, I don't feel good about that.
Right. So then, like, how long would a pack typically last you?
Depends. Like if I just didn't want to smoke, because it's not like I don't want to, it's gross to me. It doesn't feel that good anymore. They'll last me about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Okay.
Which is definitely not as bad as like some people that I've known. But it's still a struggle for me to deal with that.
So because you said like you've gone through that cycle of I bought a pack of smokes, I smoked them, I didn't smoke for a year. I bought a pack of smokes, I smoked them, I didn't smoke for this amount of time.
Yeah.
So there's obviously some way in which maybe works for you to quit. Like there was an exception. There was something that works there for you. Can you like kind of think of what that would be?
I just wouldn't buy more, and I wouldn't be around it.
Okay.
Like if I limited it for myself, and if I sort of distance myself from people that might pressure me to do that, I definitely found that I had almost no urge to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said before it's the social
Yeah.
aspect that kind of drives you to it.
Yes.
So how, like, is there a goal you could make around potentially, I don't want to say limiting socializing because that's healthy, but at the same time, is there a goal somewhere around that you can make a clear goal for yourself to cut that out?
Like I don't have any smokes right now.
Right.
They're all gone. I think my goal could be to not buy a pack for the rest of the week.
Right, that's a good goal.
And then if like Monday comes and I have no urge to do it, then like just not buy another pack. But I don't know if I'll get feelings between now and then, which will change that.
So say you did go that 1 week and that goal was, perfect. You maybe had an urge, but you went all the way through. Do you think it would be healthy to continue making another goal? Like maybe, for example, you don't obviously have to use this, but like the next goal would be like, maybe I don't use for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I was thinking. Like I'm glad you said that, but because I was sort of thinking like if I make it 1 week, then if I continue that goal, I won't start again, because what happened last time is I just stopped thinking about it. Like I'm not doing it, it's not a problem anymore.
Right.
And then boom, right, here it is, right in my life again.
Right.
And I'm dealing with it again. And like what's saying that the reasons that I picked it up last time don't happen again, and I just have no choice. Right?
So to me, like it seems how you said you have no choice. It seems like for the most part, at least the way I'm reading it, is that you have it. You obviously want to change this, but it seems like you have it fairly under control.
Yeah, I feel rather in control of it unless I'm using.
Right.
In which case, then it's sort of like my mind sort of shifts my
Right.
opinion about it.
Right. So it seems like you already have the answer for what, like I think you know what you need to do to stop smoking or using tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know.
I think goals definitely would help, like knowing in my mind what I should and shouldn't do, and not that this isn't normal for me, more like actually thinking in the moment I shouldn't buy a pack because there's no reason.
Right.
I'm trying to quit. But like, what could I do if there are urges?
So I know you already made the one goal of like, I think you've kind of committed to it. It seems like of not buying a pack for a week.
Yeah.
Do you think making another goal on top of that would be overwhelming, or do you think that could also help? Like maybe if it was something linked to the socialization piece almost, or something completely different altogether?
I think maybe like if there were things that I knew I could turn to instead, like more positive things.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think those positive things could be?
I mean, I have a girlfriend, I have lots of friends.
Right.
And I got a couple weeks off, so that is a little downtime that might lead to some dangerous thoughts, but like in terms of using again. But otherwise, I mean, I'll be with my family.
Right.
And I get to meet my new dog.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So, and your family are non-smokers, I take it?
No, my mom was a smoker.
Okay.
My entire childhood.
Right.
And then tried to quit because my brother's a respiratory therapist and sort of put it in
They
their
kind of
mind.
go against each other?
So for me, I'm like, I also know that my brother, if he knew, he'd be very disappointed in me. And my mom would probably have a heart attack. Yeah. So
that's some motivation.
Yeah, it heart attack. Yeah, I definitely have other reasons, I would say.
Okay. So with that, so like, you know how if, for example, you won the lottery and you won the lottery and you did all that.
Yeah.
It's somewhat of a miracle. It's a one in a million chance, right? So, or higher than that. So, for example, you can kind of create like your own image of your miracle in your mind. So, this is kind of a miracle question. So, what this is going to be is like, so if tomorrow, say you woke up and you had no urge to smoke, to use tobacco, to anything, what would that look like for you? Like, how would your life be different?
I'd wake up and eat breakfast instead of having a cigarette.
Yeah, that'd be a healthier approach.
Or I'd go for a walk instead of stepping outside for a smoke.
Right.
I think just that being my go-to would solve two of those problems.
Yeah, Yeah, so your routine would change.
Yeah, and I think yeah, like my routine right now supports it or supported it, and if I change my routine, maybe it won't give me a reason to go back to it.
Right.
Is that sort of what you mean? And okay.
So and so an important piece of note is I know you mentioned earlier about your first goal is to make it a week. Second goal is to make it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
An important thing to note is that generally to break a habit or to form a habit, it takes about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it might be super hard that first week. It might be hard the second week and third week. But by the time third week comes around, if you stay on it, it's been shown that by the third week things start to kind of form a habit. They start to, maybe those urges are still there, but they're a little subdued, right?
Okay.
So I think it's important to note.
So would it be helpful for us to maybe set a goal for 3 weeks?
You could, yeah.
Like, we have the goal of not smoking or not buying more for the rest of the week, and that gets 1 week out of the way.
Yep.
But like, I don't know what else might help me if I set a goal during that. Like, what is it? Because I feel like I could definitely do more.
Okay.
I think. Rather than just not buying, like I should do something more active as well. Maybe.
So what do you mean by more active?
I mean, like by not buying cigarettes, that is sort of like passive. It's not an action. It's just sort of not doing something.
Right.
But I mean, like, would a goal of if I get an urge for it, like within 3 weeks, if I get an urge to smoke, go for a 10-minute walk.
Right. So have some like supports put in place that battle that urge when it's coming on strong.
Like, do you think that might be helpful?
So, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Do you think that it'd be helpful? Because it seemed like you put it out there.
I think it will.
Okay.
I think it would definitely, if my mind wants one thing and I know right away that that one thing actually is something else, then I can just go do it.
Right.
Like, if I go for a walk and do something, I won't be smoking. And I feel like I won't get that many urges in the span of 3 weeks.
Right.
So if I do get one, that does seem a little reasonable. That like for 3 weeks I resist the urge with this.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I can always edit that, right? Like I can change that to.
It's ever changing. Yeah.
Go listen to
music. I didn't mean to put you in a spot there.
No, it's okay.
It was just a moment of like, I know how I would deal with it, but if I tell you how to do this, this, and this, and then you go do it, and it doesn't work for you.
Fair enough.
Then there was no real development here, right?
Yep.
So I just wanted to kind of note that for you that like you seem to have a pretty good sense of what you're doing, the strategies, the plan you have in place. You know that you're at a 6 right now, and that you want to get down to a 2, which is very occasional use.
Yep.
So you kind of know the way you're already going. So goal-wise, what are the goals that you set? I know you set the 1 week goal, and you're kind of thinking about the 3 week goal as well. The walk. There's one more.
I mentioned that I could, like, instead of walking, like, just listen to music or something.
Right.
Like, have my not smoking song. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just ideas. I haven't really, like, I have all these thoughts, but I've never sat down to, like, direct them towards my problem. So, like, this is a really good chance, I think, for that. But, yeah, in goals, I mean, one short term and one long term feels all right.
Okay.
With all the other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, like, we will be going home.
So do you think you'll be able to remember those goals? Like, I know a lot of times people ask you to write things down, keep it. I know for me that doesn't work. I don't keep pieces of paper on me.
Yep.
So even if you, after the session or whenever, enter that in your phone in a little memo, in a little reminder of like this, that, the other thing, right?
Yep.
So would that be helpful for you?
That would absolutely be helpful, I
Okay.
think.
Okay, perfect. So do you have any kind of more questions for me? Anything in regards to this? I think you're at a fairly good point with knowing what you need to do. Is there anything that's really sticking out to you?
Not specifically. Like, is there anything people usually do? I don't know.
It's hard. I don't think there's things that people would necessarily usually do. I think it's really individualized. For example, like someone might be empowered by ripping up all their smokes or doing this. But I didn't hear you mention that, so I'm not going to mention that. Like, I'm not going to push you in that direction because you already have your own way of dealing with it. So I'm curious to see how this process goes over the next, 1 to 3 weeks, it sounds.
Yep.
So.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can definitely check back in about that.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
See how these goals go.
Right.
I mean, we can always edit them, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Come up with new goals, I guess. Well, I definitely feel a little bit more ready to face this challenge now that I've gotten it out.
Right.
I'm just feeling it.
Yeah, because you honestly, like, you had the answers the entire time.
Never thought about that.
So, so see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.